Hello everybody, welcome back to the answers for Daily Dictation 222. It was very difficult, but some of you did an amazing job. I was very impressed. Be sure to watch the videos, do the dictation, and if you watch the original video, it will help you understand. I guarantee it will help you, and I think a lot of the people who did a really great job watched the original video because it was difficult. Okay, it's time for the answers. Let me read them to you. Here's a travel rule. Anytime you see a bar with a sign that says stories, beers, and wood-burning stoves, you go in. I'll give you the best souvenir that you'd ever get in Newfoundland, eh? What's that? That's a kiss. Oops, whoops. What's that? That's a kiss off a Newfoundland-born. Thank you. I got it. And those are the answers. And once again, you guys did great. Now, the key here, the upper part is okay. The man's pronunciation is not too bad. But the woman, we'll call her grandmother, she was pretty tough. However, if you heard this word and, let me see, this word, then basically you can get the idea. For me, the most difficult word was this. This was a tough one. Even I had to listen a couple times to be sure. I thought it was right, but I had to make sure by listening a couple times. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. Here's a travel rule. Here's a travel rule. Now, when he talks about travel, he means taking a trip, taking a journey, touring in another place. So if you're traveling, here is a rule. Now, what is a rule? A rule is something you must do, something you have to do. So similar to a rule would be a law, L-A-W, okay? Usually we say a travel tip, or travel advice. So a travel tip, because we can count tip, or without the article a, simply travel advice, because advice is a non-count noun, an uncountable noun. So here's a travel tip, here's some travel advice, here's a travel rule, here's a travel law. We won't say law, but rule is okay. What is the rule? What must we do? Any time, whenever, if you ever. So instead of any time, we could say whenever, and we could also say if you ever. Anytime you see, if you ever see, whenever you see. Anytime can be one word and it can be two words. If it's an adverb, we can write it as one. But as far as I know, in the UK, they almost always use two words. And personally, usually, I write it as two words. So the safe idea, write it as two words and you'll be okay. Anytime you see what? See a bar. What is a bar? A bar is, in the UK, they say a pub. The same as a pub. A place where you can drink beer, or maybe some whiskey. Maybe you can have a hamburger, or some pizza, or fish and chips in the UK, okay? So, anytime you see a bar, anytime you see a pub with a sign, so bars have signs, Shane's Bar, Shane's Pub, that says, what does the sign say? Let's read the sign. The sign says, stories, beers, and wood-burning stoves. Stories, I guess the bartender will tell you stories. Beers, of course, you can drink beers. And wood-burning stoves, this is a wood-burning stove. So if you go into the bar, you can warm yourself by the wood-burning stove, or you can simply enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy the ambiance of a wood-burning stove. Do you have a wood-burning stove? I don't in Korea, but when I was young, we always had a wood-burning stove or a fireplace, and the smell of the wood, the sound of the fire, it was very nice. It was very nice, rather romantic. And if I can, one day I'll have another wood-burning stove. So once again, here's a travel rule. Anytime you see a bar with a sign that says stories, beer, and wood-burning stoves, you go in. You go in. Go into the bar, visit the bar, go inside, order a beer, listen to some stories, and warm yourself by the wood-burning stove. You must go in. You have to go in. You must. It's a rule. Is it really a rule? Maybe. He says so. Okay. All right. Sounds good. So now they go into the bar and they meet the grandmother. And they talk and they have fun. And when they leave, the grandmother says, "I'll give you the best souvenir that you'd ever get in Newfoundland, eh?" That was really tough. I'll give you, to the guy, I'll give you the best souvenir. What is a souvenir? Souvenir, actually, it's a word from the French language. A souvenir is something that you buy that represents someplace that you visited. So hold on a second, I got some souvenirs. Actually, I have two souvenirs. Now this is a refrigerator magnet from Hong Kong. Oop, it's upside down, sorry. So when I went to Hong Kong, I bought this refrigerator magnet, and it says Hong Kong, and I put it on my refrigerator, and oops, this is not magnetic. And it tells me, yes, I went to Hong Kong. One of my friends went to Las Vegas, and they bought me a beer cup bottle opener. So I can see that my friend went to Las Vegas. This is also a souvenir. There are many types of souvenirs. Another common souvenir would be a postcard. So refrigerator magnets, postcards. What about in your country or your city? What is a common souvenir that you, your local area, your country, sells to tourists? Leave a message down below. I'm curious. Souvenirs. Okay, so I'll give you, not sell you, free. Yeah, the best souvenir. Oh, that's wonderful. That you would ever get, that you could ever get. Both are possible. I'm thinking she's saying that you would ever get. Instead of get, we can say receive. To receive the best souvenir that you could ever receive in Newfoundland. Newfoundland. Newfoundland? No. Newfoundland. Newfoundland. Eh? So, this is a province in Canada, which is like a state in America. It's way out on the east coast, and it looks like a really nice place. Actually, off the coast of Newfoundland, is where the Titanic sank. So it's famous for that. Anyway, famous for a beautiful area too. Newfoundland, eh? Now, this is kind of a common ending of a sentence that is Canadian. Some Americans use it too. Usually Americans will say, huh? Huh? And Canadians, eh? It's a nice day, eh? Do you want some beer, eh? How are you doing, eh? How are you doing, eh? Sorry to my Canadian friends. Not every Canadian person does it. Other countries, I know I had a friend from Singapore, and he would say, "Are you busy, la? I'm going to eat lunch, la." I think only when he had questions. "Are you busy, la? Are you going, la?" and he would add la to the end of his words. So it's just unique to the country, and in Canada, many times they say a. I'll give you the best souvenir that you'd ever get in Newfoundland, eh? And he says, what's that? What's that? What is the best souvenir that I could ever get in Newfoundland? And she gives him a kiss. She gives him a big old kiss, and she laughs. And she says, that's a kiss. That's a kiss off a Newfoundland-born. That's a kiss off a Newfoundland-born. Now, this was tough. Was it Newfoundlander? Was it Newfoundland? I'll change the colors here. Newfoundlander, Newfoundland woman. But I've listened several times, and I'm convinced it's born. That's a kiss off. Instead of off, we could say, and we should say, from. That's a kiss from a Newfoundland-born woman. But she just ends it right here. That's a kiss off a Newfoundland-born. That's a kiss off a Newfoundland-born. Thank you. I got it. Yeah, I received the best souvenir in Newfoundland. And that's the story. It's kind of cute, and it's really difficult. The woman, grandmother, when she's speaking, it's tough. But remember, if you go to America, or if you go to the UK or Australia, wherever, we have the general pronunciation, like CNN News, BBC News, the news style pronunciation, which is, it's not so bad. However, every area has a dialect, and sometimes they're really difficult to understand. So learning American pronunciation, in my opinion, is the best for you because everybody seems to understand the general American pronunciation, but that doesn't guarantee you will be able to understand everybody. So you need to listen to people from all over the world. That will help you a lot. Okay, let's read it 2 more times. Here's a travel rule. Anytime you see a bar with a sign that says stories, beers, and wood-burning stoves, you go in. I'll give you the best souvenir that you'd ever get in Newfoundland, eh? What's that? That's a kiss off a Newfoundland-born. Thank you. I got it. Here's a travel rule. Anytime you see a bar with a sign that says stories, beers, and wood-burning stoves, you go in. I'll give you the best souvenir that you'd ever get in Newfoundland, eh? What's that? That's a kiss off a Newfoundland-born. Thank you. I got it. And there you go. So it's not easy. And you don't have to worry too much about what she said, but keep exposing yourself to different types of English. It will help you. When you work on pronunciation, my recommendation, American pronunciation, but there are many types of pronunciations all around the world, including Singapore. Do you understand, La? I hope so. Okay, leave a message down below. What is a common souvenir that your city or your country sells to foreigners? And I hope to see you at DD223. It will be a little bit easier and a little bit shorter. Bye-bye.